and I'll admit everyone. All right, good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning. Good to see you all. It's a bright morning, Saturday morning. To start off, let's offer a bow to our heavenly parents and true parents. 전진 참모님께 경배. 바로. Today we'll read Family Pledge number 7. 7. 전일극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 보영의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 신조문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. Our family, the owner of Chonoguk, pledges through living for the sake of others to perfect the world based on the culture of heart, which is rooted in the original lineage by centering on true love. And now, to open us up in prayer, I'd like to invite up Dr. Thomas Ward.
Good morning, everyone. Please join me in prayer. Our loving Heavenly Parent, we are grateful to come before you at the beginning of a new day, and at the as we come towards the completion of this cycle of reciting the pledge each day, our dear Parent. We pray on this day, and we ask that you will be able to guide each and every one of us. Our movement, particularly here in America, is in the midst of a great transition. We could inherit many things under the leadership of Dr. Young over the past 2.5 years. And we are grateful to him for the ways in which we could be able to mature and deepen ourselves, and also be able, our dearest Heavenly Parent, through this process, come closer to you and to your word. At this time, our dear Parent, you are asking all of us to deepen and broaden our spiritual senses and our capacity to hear your voice, and to recognize what you are calling upon us to do in order to effect a Pentecost in this nation. We know, our dearest Heavenly Parent, that for so long, this nation has been insensitive to the message of our true parents. We have not been taken seriously. We are not a part of the public discourse in the way that we need to be, our dear Parent, in order to effect real change in this society and world, and in order to contribute to the realization, our dear Parent, of a peaceful world, a God-centered world. All the dreams that were compiled into things such as the United Nations, which we know, our dear Parent, can never really come to fruition without you at the very center. So at this time, when we all gather together in order to share, and at this time when also our spiritual center becomes the Chongchim One, we ask that you will guide and be with each and every one of us, and allow us to prepare to launch a new stage in history, a time when we can bring this nation with us to our true parents and to the realization of Cheonilguk centering on Korea. So kindly receive our prayer on this day, our loving Heavenly Parent. I want to report all these things, upholding the names of our true parents, in the names of Thomas and Alexa Ward, and in the names of all those here today. Adieu.
Adieu. Adieu. Thank you, Dr. Ward. And now we're going to our gratitude sharing. So take a moment to think about what you're grateful for. That's the question. What are you grateful for this morning? Share with whoever you paired up with, and we'll be back here to hear from someone. We'll see you all soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you had a fun, exciting sharing in your breakout. I hope you brought you some joy to share and to hear. I'd like to first call on Luke Diamond. Luke Diamond, if you could please share with us your gratitude points this morning. Luke Diamond.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes, I'm grateful to be alive today, just to wake up and know that I have another day, and I'm grateful for true parents who've really saved my life, and I'm grateful for my family and to know the truth and to have some understanding of God anyway, and that's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Uncle Luke. And I'd like to next call on Keiko Brilliant.
Yeah, what are you sharing? I mean, I think about my life. It's since really God was guiding me from the beginning, and just I was 18 when I joined church, and I was not really so many ways. I didn't have that confidence or any experience, and just God was guiding me to really a lot of challenge, but really always gained so much. Like first mission I joined church, it's 1960, 67 and 68. That the first time that in Japan the Divine Principle book was published. So in a sense, first mission I had to go. I sell Divine Principle book to door. That was crazy for me that I never talked to any stranger, very shy person. I didn't, so, but amazingly, God, after so much difficulty, but I collect courage to went to do that, and then some very nice store owner bought the book. I was surprised. Anyway, things like that. But anyway, whole life that because of God's providence, and I know that my lifelines united with my central figure. So I was doing that, and God definitely guided me from one to another, and to even coming to America, I never imagined things like that, and even married to America. I never thought about the length of time, but somehow, I studied English in my college, and then just without knowing clearly, but really God was guiding and preparing me everything. So I'm very grateful for blessing and the family, children, and still we can do quite a lot in our age, and I'm really grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Keiko-san. Yes, grateful to God for all his guidances. All right, we're gonna go into our Hundok today, and once again, this is Mother of Peace. We are on Chapter 3, the Marriage Supper of the Lamb. So let us open our hearts and mind to hear from our true Mother.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. Chapter 3, The Marriage Supper of the Lamb. The true meaning of sacrifice. My mother officially joined the Unification Church in Seoul on December 15, 1955. Early in the following year, a small yet historic first step was made as the Chuchan Unification Church convened its first public Sunday service at a home in Yaksadong. I was a young girl of 13 who had just graduated from Bongwi Elementary School. One day when the sun was shining brightly, my mother said to me, "Let's go to Seoul for the day." Without knowing why we were going, I followed her. That was the day I first met Father Moon. Chongpa-dong Church, where we met, was a small, 2-story wooden house. The Korean government had categorized it as enemy property because it had been owned by the Japanese during their occupation of our country. It was more like a home than a church. I greeted Father Moon politely, and as he returned the greeting, he asked my mother, "Who is this child?" "This is my daughter," she replied. With a look of surprise, Father Moon gazed at me as he said to my mother, "You have such a pretty daughter." Then he closed his eyes, as if in meditation, and asked my name. I politely replied, "My name is Hak Jahan." As if struck by something, Father Moon spoke very softly to himself. "Hak Jahan has been born in Korea. Hak Jahan has been born in Korea. Hak Jahan has been born in Korea." After saying this 3 times, he began expressing gratitude to God, saying, "You sent such a magnificent daughter named Hak Jahan to Korea. Thank you." Then Father Moon spoke to me as if he were asking me to gather my resolve. "Hak Jahan, you will need to make sacrifices in the future." "Yes," I replied, surprised at my own forwardness. On the way home, on the train, my mother and I thought the encounter was curious. "How strange," she said. "Why would he repeat that you were born in Korea 3 times? As we fell into silence, I contemplated the word sacrifice. The word Father Moon used took on a meaning different from what I had learned in textbooks. What he was alluding to was a higher dimension of sacrifice, a nobler and more complete sacrifice. What you sacrifice is important, but why you make that sacrifice is even more important. As I listened to the rhythmic rumble of the train and looked out the window at the scenery as it slipped by, I couldn't stop thinking about what Father Moon had said. I thought about what I might need to sacrifice for. From that day, the word sacrifice was engraved in my heart. Thinking back as the person called to live as the Mother of Peace, I realized that, over time, sacrifice became a name I could call myself. God is my Father. From the time I could understand words, my maternal grandmother, Jo-Wan-mo, consistently taught me one thing: God is your father. She went so far as to say, "Your mother is like your nanny, who is raising you as God's daughter." Since I had been surrounded by an atmosphere of faith, even while in my mother's womb, I accepted this without a second thought. When I heard the word God, my heart would open unreservedly and fill with warmth. My mother did not mind investing herself, body and soul, for the purpose of raising me to reject secular life and follow God's way. She lived with a single-minded devotion in absolute unity with and obedience to God. After joining the Unification Church, our family moved to Seoul, where she worked even harder to protect me from the world's temptations. As a result of her dedication, God allowed me to see myself as a noble crane. Even as an adolescent in middle school, I poured my heart into quiet reading and study. I attended the Songjong Girls' Middle School, located in Sajikdong of Seoul's Jongno district. Situated at the southern foot of Mount Inwang, it was a small school that seemed always bathed in sunlight. From the moment of its founding, that school shared in the suffering of the Korean people. It was established in May 1950, but had to close less than a month later due to the Korean War. After the war, its doors reopened and, true to its mission, the school prepared many girls to become talented women who would help build a prosperous country. In 1981, the school moved to the Unpyeong district of Seoul, and in 1984, its name was changed to Sunjung Girls Middle School. Our Tongil Group acquired the school in 1987 and brought it into the Sunhook Educational Foundation. I have continued to give it support and attention. In middle school, I spoke little and developed a calm personality. I studied hard and always ranked at the top of my class. I was pretty and modest, and, as I was also quiet and well-behaved, I received love and attention from my teachers. My school life was uneventful. I only remember that I missed a day or two of school in the first year when I became quite sick. In my second and third years, I received an award for earning the highest grades in my class. I preferred to read in a quiet spot and listen to music rather than engage in social life or sports. My hobby was drawing. I enjoyed art and had some talent, but set aside the possibility of becoming a professional artist. For all 3 years of middle school, I was the class representative on the student council, and in the third year, I was the head of the student activities committee. I led many student activities, and this awakened my leadership abilities. One day, when the entire school was gathered, I went to the podium and announced the decision of the student council. The teachers complimented me on my poise and confident attitude. After witnessing this side of me, which they had not seen before, one teacher commented, "Hak-ja seems gifted. I thought she was just quiet and docile, but actually she shows good leadership skills." During adolescence, I didn't worry about my life or losing my way. I credit this to my grandmother and mother instilling in me a deep faith in God and the habit of living in attendance to Him. My mother, in particular, strictly guided my life of faith. Yes, there were times when I thought it difficult and wearisome, but I am grateful now, for it prepared me to blossom as the only begotten daughter of God, who one day would meet the only begotten Son of God. Within that atmosphere, I grew roots of unshakable faith. I read a lot. I enjoyed reading tales of the saints, and particularly The Good Earth by Pearl S. Buck. The characters in that book struggle against nature and fate. The story helped me realize that ultimately we must return to nature's embrace, represented in that book by the earth. It is human nature to cling to God's embrace. I earnestly wished to be together with God, and for that reason I devoured songs and novels about the love of one's hometown. I knew from a young age that God is my Father, and naturally connected everything I read to God. I cut off entirely from the harsh secular world and lived a chaste life as if I were a nun. I was aware that a higher power was guiding me, that my path had been prepared in heaven. Especially during this time, the Bible was my close companion. I cried myself to sleep many nights after reading about God's history of creation, the tragic fall, and God's work of salvation carried out through historical figures who took responsibility at the behest of heaven. I learned how they sacrificed themselves and realized that God created us so He could love us as His children. After reading God's bitter history and His desire to embrace us, even though we give Him only pain and sadness, it was not just once or twice that I lay awake, unable to sleep, my heart aching for Him. I naturally continued to ponder ever more deeply what Teacher Moon had said to me about sacrifice. The question, what can I sacrifice for God, was shaping my life.
Thank you for listening to Godable. Visit motherofpeacebook.com to purchase the complete audiobook. Godable is made possible by listeners like you. To donate, visit godable.org. Thank you.
All right. So that was the first part of chapter 3, the marriage supper of the Lamb, the true meaning of sacrifice. And to share a quick reflection on it, I'd like to invite up our assistant pastor, Atushi Takino.
Good morning. Good morning, brother and sisters. I watch the Hyojong Global News every week. And the recent global news was actually, I was showing that one of the news was Dr. Yon's inauguration ceremony at the Namyanju large church. And True Mother, I heard they talk about the True Mother directly appointed Dr. Yon as the leader of the Namyanju large church. It's a beautiful church. And I remember Dr. Yon want to buy new church, modern church, and many people gathering. So I see somehow True Mother listen or True Mother really thinking of the to Dr. Yon's prayer. But anyway, please, I recommend it to watch the Hyojong global news. That's really helping us, what True Mother give us a message, decent message. So especially last two global news in the Yosu and this time, really True Mother sharing her insight and the seriousness of the unification of the North and South Korea. So today, the True Mother story is continued. The True Mother was chosen to a bride of True Father, and they had holy marriage wedding ceremony in the soon and later. But before we sharing about that, once again, I like to think about grandmother Jo Wonmo and the Temonim, how they taking care of the True Mother as a princess of the God. The first, they themselves practiced their faith for the will of God. So True Mother said she learned the meaning of discipleship of Jesus through mother's exemplary life. The second, Demonim treated True Mother as begotten daughter, since she received the revelation before True Mother was born. And both Demonim and grandmother taught her, your father is God. All the time, repeatedly, they taught her. And they prayed for True Mother and paid attention to her. Even they had devoted life as a church missionary. So when I read this and how they care of True Mother, I had to reflect my life from these two points as father. How much I prayed for my children. Did I truly believe my children are God's prince or princesses? Did I show my children God is living and I am living with God? I have to depend myself. But God give me another chance I want to be changed. And I want to be the, before God, before a true parent, I want to be the filial son. So, the always I feel that God always give us the opportunity or chance to change myself. So, that I'm still living on this earth, and my wife there, my children there, so, and the true mother still there. So I really want to do this, take this opportunity to change myself, especially true mother talk about how important these 3 years, and she sharing on the global news next 6 months, how much you have, please show your effort. She like to offer to heavenly parents. She like to report to that heavenly parents, the true father, your effort. So let's work together and have a nice Saturday. This is my reflection. Thank you.
Thank you, Takino-san. And now's our turn to share anything that came up for us. So just take some time to share with each other in our breakouts. See you all soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you had a great sharing in your breakout. I met Uncle Serge again, Serge Brosso, together with Keiko Tokuno. I'd like to first invite up Serge to share with us his reflection from today's morning devotion.
Well, thank you, Rush Fred. It was nice to be with you again. It's always, you have this name, Rush Fred, and it's always refreshing to see you and to hear from you. I really was touched this morning by the words from True Mother and the fact that her mother, as you mentioned yourself in your sharing, sacrificed so much, is an incredible true saint who lived her life for God and who offered her daughter for God's purpose from her young age, raising her as God's daughter and fulfilling her responsibility, something that Mary unfortunately was not able to do due to her circumstances and the environment that she was in. And also I was touched by True Mother's words as well about her childhood and the fact that she responded to Father when Father said her name 3 times. She was bold. So she has, as she mentioned, she was recognized for leadership qualities already as a young child, and so we see the fruit of that today. And she mentioned that she has talents in drawing. She could have become an artist, but she put that aside. This touched me because my daughter also has talent in drawing, so I felt some connection there. But anyway, it's really precious to hear Mother's words. I read the Mother's memoirs maybe 3 or 4 times so far, but the words always touch me a lot. It's a very pure and very we can feel Mother's heart through these words. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Uncle Serge. Thank you for sharing. Now we'll go on to our announcements. So it looks like a link to the Eyepiece TV was put in the chat, so feel free to check that out whenever. I believe it's on YouTube and on the website, eyepiecetv.com. And also, in terms of updates, now Kimi is coming back to New Jersey today. So he's flying. I think he flew back yesterday. Or he's flying back today, and so he'll be at the Clifton Church tomorrow morning. And outside of that, there may be some announcements to check. Feel free to check that out. But also, Anchil is tomorrow. If you'd like to offer a song, we do have a song for tomorrow. But if you'd like to offer a song next time, please let us know. We are creating a catalog of people who would like to offer. So if at any point you'd like to, just let Yasutaka know. Yasu, if you could please put your email in the chat. Also, opening prayer and living testimony. If you have a testimony you'd like to share to inspire us, just please contact Yasu at njfamilychurch.org. And with that, we're going to go into our closing prayer. And to close us out in prayer, I'd like to invite... Can I ask, let's see here, Akemi-san? Akemi Hirose?
Okay, let's pray. Heavenly Parent and True Parents, thank you for the day. We can gather together and hear about the precious True Mother's word, and we can all share our heart and mind to unite with True Mother and your heart. And we all love each other and support each other. And we can all welcome to unite Dr. Damian Denkri, and we can support each other. And we are so grateful to be here. And I pray in my name, Akemi Hirose, bless the entire family. Aju.
Ju. Thank you, Akemi-san, for a beautiful prayer to close us out. Short and sweet. And that about wraps up today's morning hundoke. Today is day 7. I'm guessing you all know what day 7 is. Today is the day God rested after all of creation. So please rest well today. Appreciate kind of the end of the week, fortunately on a Saturday. Thank you all. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you very much for what you do, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bless you all.